Hey, this is part 3 of my videos of telling what happens in Harry Potter Book 7. In the end, I mean. Um, alright, I believe that uh, I left off on the part where Neville had just cut off Nagini, or Nagini's head, whatever. Alright, so at that point, there's a big commotion, Voldemort screams and tries to, uh, you know, curse Neville, but uh, oh wait, no. Like Harry takes that moment that Nagini's head gets cut off and there's a big commotion. Harry slips under the invisibility cloak, and Voldemort uh, tries to shoot a killing curse at Neville, but Harry casts a shielding charm between them, and then all of a sudden, like the battle starts again. Pretty much everybody starts fighting, and then all of a sudden, and well, like all of the good people, like Dumbledore's army, the Order of the Phoenix, all those people, they're outnumbered. And then all of a sudden, arrows start flying, and there's a horn, and I believe, and all of the centaurs start running out of the Forbidden Forest, and they're gonna help them battle. Then they start moving inside of the castle, because the Death Eaters want to shield themselves from the arrows, of course. Um, and then when they get back into the castle, all of a sudden the door slams open, and all these house elves start running out, and to help the battle. They all have knives and mallets and rolling pins and stuff you find in a kitchen, I guess, and all of those household things. And at the front of them is Creature, the house elf from uh, you know the old Order of the Phoenix place. Uh, Anywho, well, he befriended Harry, Ron, and Hermione in earlier in the seventh book. When they're staying at 13 Grimwald Place, and they just go through this whole thing, and he ends up being nice. Uh, and so, anyways, they move into the Great Hall, and they're all fighting and everything. But like pretty much like the two main fights are uh, like this group of four people, like in the middle, kind of. Uh, on one side was fighting Voldemort was I believe it was Professor McGonagall, Professor Slughorn, and Professor oh yeah, Flitwick. And on the other side, of course, Voldemort was winning against them pretty easily. And on the other side was uh, Bellatrix, whom was fighting Hermione, uh, Luna, and Ginny. And then a killing curse just flew by. Well, Harry was like casting shielding charms everywhere, to protect people who were about to be hit by, uh, like the people, on his side that were about to be hit by curses and stuff. Um, and then all of a sudden, a killing curse flies about an inch away from Ginny Weasley's head, and so Harry's about to go over there and help them when, out of nowhere, Mrs. Weasley yells, "Not my daughter, you bitch!" And goes there and starts battling Bellatrix. And Bellatrix at first thinks it's kind of funny, little Miss Weasley fighting her. Uh, and she's like, and she's saying, "So who will look after your kids after I do what happened to little Georgie or Freddie? Sorry, because Fred Weasley's dead. Sorry, George Weasley's alive. He just lost his ear. I think it's his left ear earlier on in the book. Um, and then all of a sudden she starts battling even harder, and the battle gets really intense, and Bellatrix's smile turns into a snarl, and the stones all around them are cracking because of the intensity and everything. And then a stunning charm, I believe, goes under Bellatrix's arm and hits her right in the heart, and it kills her. And Voldemort, who saw his last good general fall, screams with rage and sends Professor McGonagall, Slughorn, and Flitwick flying through the air, and just tries to, and he runs over, or he starts charging at Professor or Mrs. Weasley, and he's about to, uh, you know, fire a killing curse at her, I'm sure, but then Harry casts a shielding charm, Protego, between them, and the shielding charms uh, is blocking everybody from harm except for Harry. Harry's still under his invisibility cloak, and then he pretty much throws his invisibility cloak off, and everybody starts shouting, "Harry! Harry's alive!" And, all that stuff. And Voldemort and Harry pretty much start talking, and Harry says, and all these people are ready to try and help Harry, when Harry says, "No, this is my fight." And Voldemort says, "Come now, Harry. We all know that that's not how you are. You let your loved ones get in front of you and die. You shield yourself with your loved ones." And Harry says, "I will not let anybody else die for me." And Voldemort says, well, I don't think he comments on that, and Harry starts talking about how his greatest mistake, Voldemort's greatest mistake, how Snape never worked for him, and then it comes down to the Elder Wand. The Elder Wand is another Horcrux, or not a Horcrux, sorry, it's a Hollow. Hollows are like the three, it's like the ring. The three Hollows are Harry's cloak, the ring of which he used to bring back his parents, Lupin, and Sirius, and the wand, the Elder Wand Voldemort's using. And Harry says, "You can go ahead that wand won't work for you, because if I'm correct, then that wand doesn't belong to you." And Voldemort says, "You silly boy, this wand belonged to Dumbledore, and he was killed by my orders." And Harry says, "Dumbledore was not defeated. He let himself be killed." And then Voldemort says, "Even so, if this wand belonged to Snape, I killed Snape 3 hours ago." And Harry said, "If I'm correct, that wand didn't belong to Snape. Snape was never working for you. Dumbledore planned on Snape getting the wand, but that's not how it worked out. If I'm correct, Draco Malfoy disarmed Dumbledore right before Snape killed him. And so that means that if I'm correct, the allegiance would have gone to him." And Voldemort said, "That's no problem. After I finish with you, I can deal with the boy." And Harry says, "Well, but also, I disarmed," or he says, "but is the wand really belong to Draco Malfoy? Because what if the wand knows that its master's been disarmed even a couple of months ago, or several weeks ago, then that wand could belong to me, because Harry's wand had been broken by on accident by one of Hermione's ricocheting curses, and he's disarmed Malfoy and took his wand, and so Malfoy's wand was, gave its allegiance to Harry." And then he said, "Now we'll know if that wand knows that its master was disarmed and it belongs to me. We'll soon find out." And so pretty much that makes Voldemort really angry, and so they both fire spells at the same time, and at the same time they yell Expelliarmus and Avada Kedavra, and Voldemort's killing curse flies back at him, and it kills him. It kills Voldemort, that is. And Harry catches the Elder Wand. Everybody's running at Harry at the same time, and everybody wants to touch the boy who killed the greatest dark wizard of all. And I'll tell you what happens 19 years later if you watch part 4.